is, I know you always try to build on what you did the year before, things to improve on. What's been your focus to
Just kind of relate to kind of like last off season. Really wasn't really a lot of stuff was going on, and not put myself in the position that I was last year for is not really working hard. But the main focus this year is just to get back to, the summer, what I did in 2021, not even the season, just yet alone the summer of getting back to the groove of things and getting back in the routine.
looking back on was all this stuff going on? Was it a distraction at all? How did you stay?
Yeah, it was kind of a distraction for sure.
Just ask Kyle about Danny Gray, his progress. What are you seeing from him this spring?
Just kind of relating from last year. As any rookie, any wideout in this offense that is asked to play coming in, it's pretty hard. It's a lot of thinking going on. It's a lot of things thrown at you at once. Because we drafted him in the third round, so we expected him to play. So it was a lot of pressure on. But just seeing him these past couple of weeks, you can tell that he's learned a lot. He still have mental mistakes here and there, but he's done a good job of minimizing those and putting himself in a position to play.
Is he better physically? Is he more ready to go through all these practices and whatnot?
Yeah. Being in shape for Danny is not one thing, but his mentality and the way he's approaching practice has been amazing to me.
Can you take him under your wing and offer him any advice after what you've been through with Kyle?
Kind of like last year, just explaining to them how Kyle operates and what it takes to be on the field and what it takes to be a receiver in his offense. It's not all about catching the ball and running. You got to stick your nose in there. You got to put your big boy pants on and just be ready to do whatever Kyle asks you to do.
When all was said and done last year, would you assess your season last year?
Oh, it was awful. It was awful.
Awful.
Yeah,
In what way?
every aspect.
Do you consider on that a little bit? Like you just said every aspect, but did that leave a bitter taste in your mouth?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Me and Kyle had a long meeting the other day. We watched tape. We talked about it. We put it behind us, and just going through the tape and just look how sluggish and how bad it looked on tape. Like I said, just reflecting on last offseason, it kind of played a big role in that, and I never put nothing like that back on tape again.
Did you feel it as the season was going on, or was it not until you went back and watched it?
I was kind of behind the eight ball a little bit for us, being in my routine that I normally be in for the offseason, getting ready to play because, like I said, a lot of distractions was going on. But, I kind of felt it, but I was just, trying to will my way to help the team in every aspect possible.
Does it affect what your goals are for this season?
Oh, not at all.
When you talk about how Kyle operates, how does he operate? How long did it take you to kind of navigate?
Go back to my rookie year. It took me a whole year just to see, his standard of the receiver room. I feel like we get coached harder than anybody on the team when it comes to Kyle aspect of how detailed and, how detailed in the run game he is. He's not more so worried about you catching the run. He's like, what are the things you're going to do when you're not getting the ball? And he get real upset and angry when, you miss a block or anything like little details that you'll never know about.
Obviously not hugely important for established veterans to be out there during this time, on the field running plays and stuff. Are you happy with where you are physically right now as far as heading into training camp? Are you going to be, ready to go?
I'm gonna be more than ready to go first day.
When you were training camp last year, you said you started behind the eight ball. Did you feel out of shape?
Yeah, for sure.
Did you have that, were you gas during practices?
It shows on tape.
You told us that he's ready to take off. You've been watching practice the last couple of days.
Man, you can't cover that boy in a phone booth right now.
What have you seen him do the last year or two?
Just me personally, seeing Brandon from a rookie till now, he's got better day in, day out. Every season he's got better, and just I'm seeing flashes of stuff that I ain't seen him do, how fast he is now, how explosive he is, and the separation that he getting in and out of routes. You can tell he's really detailed this offseason, ready to go.
Deebo, there's very few receivers that step out of college and produce right away. Why is that? Is the pro game that much more complex than the college game?
I mean, you ask me, people been in this league for a long time, just like you was in college for 4 years, and as you be a senior, you kind of feel like you got a head start of everybody. But this league, like, it moves so fast, things happen so fast. It's a lot of knowledge. It's a lot of things that you gotta take in consideration. Is going out there, especially like in this offense, there's so much knowledge, and like you breaking the huddle and still thinking, and it's like, all right, said hut, and it's just stuff like flying all over the place. It kind of takes time for the game to slow down for you.
If you really believe that you were awful last year, do you go into this season almost like competing with guys like Brandon, who you said can't cover him in a phone booth, and Christian and Kittle for touches and things like that?
Nah, I'm my own competitor. I'm competing with myself.
What are your goals for this season?
I'm not a guy that set goals. I just go out there and let things happen.
All good? All right, thank you, Deebo.
Thank you.
I'm wonderful. How are you today?
There's a rumor that you're inviting Trey Lance to tight end you. Is that accurate?
Well, yeah, he's always invited. He was invited last year, but he had a family thing come up. But no, he'll be here this year. Wonderful.
Does it water down tight end you to have a non-tight end?
I don't know. I think we have 6 quarterbacks coming in. We need someone to throw us the ball, right? I mean, we relied on Christian last year. That didn't work out too well. So bring some actual quarterbacks in to throw some balls.
What is your impression then on the young tight ends that are joining your group?
Let's see. They're both great. They both got high character guys. They both have great work ethics. They're out there every single day trying to get better. They learn really well. They learn fast. I think Coach Fleury's done a great job about installing the offense with them. They have a very good understanding of everything that we're trying to accomplish. They don't have very many MAs as a rookie, which is pretty astonishing because I had a bunch when I was a rookie. They're both making plays. Cameron's a big dude. He's a lot bigger than I thought he was in person. Thick, strong, gets off the ball well. At one point he was our second fastest tight end on the day, hit over like 19 miles an hour, so he can run a little bit. Braden's got a great feel in the route game. He's running choice routes, doing that really well, catching the ball strong with his hands. I think he had a drop today, but that was the first time I've seen him drop a ball. But like their eagerness to learn, and they ask a bunch of questions too, which I really appreciate. And I told them both out the front, like, please don't think you're going to ever annoy me with questions. I was in your position once, and all I want to do is give you the best chance of making this team, and so just ask me whatever you want, and they both asked me a ton of questions. So I really appreciate that eagerness from them.
Top speed that you've hit on the GPS?
This OTAs, I think I was 20.5. Yeah, just out there running and gunning a little bit. Got to show the young guys what it is. I feel like I'm still young, though.
Yeah, in your career, is it faster normally in a game with adrenaline? Or?
Yeah, I think my fastest time ever was like 21.5, but I was chasing down somebody because we had a turnover. But yeah, it was all right. I got the tackle.
During the beginning of the season, you said you felt physically as good as you had at the end of the season.
That was crazy.
How has that kind of carried over into your
It
offseason?
was just allowed me to work the way that I wanted to work earlier in the off season. Not to take so much time off to rehab and recover, do a bunch of treatments and stuff like that. I was actually just be able to get a good foundation in. Really up my training towards the start of OTAs, came in great shape, being able to get out on the field, run good routes, catch the ball, not to miss stuff. It's way more fun to be on the football field than on the side watching.
He's finally healthy with his finger and his ankle. Do you feel like there's a difference in the way he's throwing the ball towards you?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think Trey looks significantly better than he did last year. I really do. I think his confidence is there. I think that he's throwing really good passes. I know you guys take videos sometimes, and he overthrows people once in a while. Hey, it is what it is. He's still learning and stuff. But, just watching him, he just looks so much more comfortable and confident in the pocket, and I really appreciate that from him, from all the work that he's put into it. I think all of our quarterbacks, I saw one of you guys had a stat that Brandon Allen didn't have an incompletion yet. That's pretty cool for him, too. But I think all of our quarterbacks are playing well. But like I said, I think he just looks comfortable back there, and he doesn't look like he just looks like he's having fun, and I really appreciate that from him because when he's out there having a good time, it definitely brings up everyone around him.
Ball coming out differently?
I just catch it. Yeah, that's a Kyle question. I don't know.
You said he's enjoying the game basically for the first time since college. Have you noticed just a vibe,
Yeah, there are points you see it. I wouldn't say it on everybody's face, but over the course of my career, when guys are lacking confidence or something, you can tell. And I haven't seen that from him at all this year. He has this energy to him, he has this passion to him, and you can just see he has a smile on his face. He's celebrating with the guys. you can just tell he's having fun out there, and that just makes football a lot easier.
Veterans have different ways of assessing how they played one year and how to motivate themselves for the next. Deebo told us, I was awful last year. Just look at the film. And Bosa was saying, like, I try not to be hard on myself, but I do. Some games I could have done better.
Yeah.
How about you? What was your year like last year, and what did you see in yourself?
Let's see. I mean, I think first several games definitely started off slow. I missed the first 2, and after that, I'm pretty sure I averaged like 3 catches for like 30 yards for my next like 6 games, which is, for someone, they pay me a lot of money. That's kind of unacceptable for me, so I was pretty upset with that, and definitely got in the flow of things towards, middle half of the year. And, was very confident in my run game, very confident in the way I was running routes, catching the ball, getting in the end zone. But over the course of the season, I think my level of play increased, and I think our whole team did. We went on a 12-game win streak, and everybody was playing at a pretty high level. Always stuff to improve on. I go back after every season, I watch every single route that I run, whether they're, balls thrown to me or not. What are the things I got to work on? Can always get in and out of breaks faster. 245, you still got to get in and out of those things quicker. Watch the other tight ends that do it, that they're around the same weight, and see how they do it. Try to apply that to my game still. Or just watching guys on our roster too. Ross Doyle is a guy who always, he's phenomenal at that. He might not be the fastest guy, but he gets in and out of his breaks really quickly. He's got great footwork at the top. I could name off 5 other tight ends in the league that you can watch too, but that's a big one. And I always get Shanahan always yells at me for I body catch a lot. I think I'm the best in the NFL after AB retired. But just working on my hands. Always extending, getting the ball out there, and just give him a wider catch radius, I think.
Your reaction to what Deebo said about his season last year, can you explain your reaction to that?
That's Deebo's take on himself. I love Deebo. He does a ton for us. I know there are plays that he wishes he had back. We all do. But I know when Deebo's very motivated, he's a fantastic football player. And I'm not saying he wasn't motivated last year, but I definitely think he has a little bit more of a fire under him this year, and I think that's just himself. I think if he said that, then I know that he's going to go out there and try to have a better year this year, which I appreciate, because if Deebo's trying to be better, that's just only good for the Niners.
The loss to Philly at the end of the year was frustrating to watch. How did it sit with you? How much did you think about it this offseason? How much was that the motivator for this year?
Well, looking at myself and my position, there's not really anything I could have done differently that game. I played well in the run game. I ran 6 routes over the course of the game. And I think it's kind of hard because their whole team, there was a bunch of people saying you guys just got to work harder and stuff like that. And it's like, well, not really. We worked really hard, and it's just we had the most important position in football, or really in all sports, wasn't available to us, and so it takes away 50% of the game, a lot of the game, because there's no play action and all that stuff, and so it's frustrating. But it's not like I'm not looking back and watching the tapes saying that, wow, I missed this, I got to do this better, I got to run this route better. It really wasn't any of that. It's just more of a disappointing, but I don't really let it linger, because hey, it's football, it's life, shit happens, and we just got to move on to the next one. And yeah, there's been a lot of dialogue over social media and stuff like that, and it is what it is. They beat us, and we didn't have a quarterback. We'll play him again this year. Looking forward to it. But no, I haven't really lingered on it too much. There's nothing really I could have done differently. So just go to the next one and win more games.
What do you see from Sam Donald on the practice field?
I think he's just this offseason, I think he's just taking good steps forward. I think early on in OTAs, I think he was just really figuring it out. Took him a half a second longer to read, his routes and stuff like that. But I think he's starting to really understand the concepts. He's getting the ball out quicker. You guys saw, I think he had that deep ball to Ayuk today. That was nice. Stepped up in the pocket. He's got a good arm talent. So yeah, it's hard for me to really judge anybody during OTAs because there's no pads on. There's no threat of being hit. Routes are kind of different. I like watching Brandon Ayuk just dice up every single corner he goes against. That's really fun. But when a quarterback has 100% confidence that he's not going to get hit, it's a little bit different. But I think he's playing really well. I think he's improved a lot since he's been here, just having an understanding, getting the ball out. He throws a good ball too, which I appreciate.
You have a different vibe this offseason?
I think he has the same vibe he did last year. Quiet. He's a little bit louder this year in OTAs, talking smack to guys, which he deserved. He can do that. He's out there. Almost every rep, he dominates the guy across from him. He's catching everything they throw to him. He's making big plays, and like he brings a lot of excitement to our offense. He brings a lot of energy to that offense too. And we're missing a couple guys who aren't practicing, but like when he's in the huddle, when he's out there making plays, like the whole team loves that stuff, and we love seeing him make those plays. And he had over 1,000 yards last year. I'm not a betting guy, but I would say that he's going to definitely get over 1,000 this year. He's going to score a lot of touchdowns. He's going to make a ton of big plays for us. And the energy he has, I think he just kind of figured it out. And like last year, I think he was kind of a quiet assassin, and then like he just worked every single day. And while he might be a little bit louder this year, he still works the same way, and he just has this intent about his work too, which I really appreciate. Yeah, I think especially in the wide receiver room, I really do think that. I think he has conversations with guys. You can see him. He talks to wide receivers after plays. He talks to about their routes and stuff like that. I do. I think, like I said, he's not just like sitting in his locker, getting ready for practice and going out and dominating. He's like having conversation with guys. It doesn't matter, offense, defense, special teams. He talks to everybody, which is like, that's a start. And I think he's only continuing to be more of a voice for us as an offense this season. Thanks, George. Thanks, guys.
Great. How are you?
Same routine as always this off season, or have you switched it up in any way?
No, same. Kept it up. Just kept improving everywhere.
Any things in particular you've been kind of focused in on after going through last season and seeing where you are, where you started, where you finished, anything you really kind of have emphasized?
Not really. No, just overall, there's improvements to be made at each facet of my game, and but most of the off season is just preparing myself for a long year and making sure that my body's going to be able to take on the load of 21 games. So just taking days off. I'd say I've been taking a little more time to like not forcing myself to push through the things, or I'm learning my body every year. I'm making small tweaks, but I'm improving speed, strength. My body comp is probably similar. But yeah, just taking those days when I need them, and not forcing myself to push through when it's May or April or those months where if I push through something, it's kind of pointless at that point. Yeah, I don't take days off very much, and that's probably been the biggest change, is just knowing when to take the days off.
What's the hardest part about taking a day off? You get antsy?
Yeah, I just like to, it's my job, so, and working out makes me feel better overall. So not going out in the morning and getting my run in and doing all the stuff that I like to do is, it kind of makes me anxious, so.
Find a happy balance is like active recovery.
Yeah, for sure, and that's kind of what it is, like doing a pool workout instead of a run, or taking a lift off and just hanging. So, but yeah, I've gotten better. Each year you tweak things. So.
You mentioned at the end of the year that you're going to be patient with all this contract stuff. Obviously, there's still some time here, but what's your confidence level that you'll be able to, get something done here before camp or right as it starts?
It's pretty high. Yeah, I think I'm pretty confident about that.
Nick, what do you think about the addition of Hargrave, and how do you think that's going to change the look you guys present on the defensive line?
I'm super excited. We've been watching tape on him the past few years in Philly, and I think every time we watch him, Chris raves about him, or would rave about him, and we think of him as one of the best interior guys in the league, especially rushing the passer, and to have him on our side is going to be a huge addition for us.
Have you had a chance to work out with him or talk to him much in person yet?
Just met him, not too much. It's been a day, so just said hi and that we're both excited to play next to each other.
Like John and both said, they felt like the D-line was still really good last year, but maybe not to the level of dominance that you guys had in 2019. Have you felt that too, and if so, in what ways?
Yeah, last year was kind of a revolving door interior with the injuries we had and not having Eric or Javon. So guys were coming in and playing snaps in games after being in here for a week, and that's just not not ideal for our scheme. You really want to get an off season in with coach and really learn the nuances of playing interior, because I think playing interior is more difficult mentally and with our scheme than playing on the outside. So the fact that we have Kevin, who continues to improve, we have Ty, who's been here an extra year, and then Javon's looking great, Javon and Eric. I hope I'm not missing anybody. But it just seems like we have a lot more depth, and if we're able to rotate guys in and out, then we could play with the effort and physicality that we need to play with.
General sense of Steve Wilkes, what his impact might be generally for the defense and specifically for you?
I don't think it'll change much at all. I think he's going to make some good improvements in the back end, and I don't really need to worry about that as long as the quarterback holds it a little longer. So, but yeah, from first impression, we talked yesterday for a good amount of time in the weight room, and yeah, I think it's going to be very similar for me.
Do you remember where you were in mid-March and what you were thinking, how surprised you were when you found out the 49ers had signed Javon Hargrave?
You said, what was I feeling?
Yeah, I mean, that was a very long question, I guess. But do you remember, were you surprised at all when?
Yeah, I was surprised. Yeah, with all the talent we have on our team, to add another guy who's the top free agent. I shouldn't be surprised with our team because Kyle's always trying to improve. But yeah, I mean, to get the top guy and a guy that I feel like people give him his due, but people don't really know how good he is overall. Like, he's not talked about in that. He might be, I don't know, but I feel like he isn't quite talked about in the Aaron Donald top echelon Chris Jones, but I think he played like that last year and throughout his career. So it's him and Eric inside should be pretty fun.
It's only been one day, but Drake Jackson, he's put on some weight. What did you see from him this practice watch today?
Just moving really well, getting the scheme down, and he looks huge. So I think that'll be good for him, and the fact that he's still moving just as good. He's always looking great. Just movement is something you can't teach with him. So, but he just needs to keep going.
Give yourselves a pretty harsh self-review at the end of the season, kind of assess how you did. Deebo just told us I was awful last year. How would you assess your year last year, Defensive Player of the Year season?
It was a good year for me. Whenever I look back at tape, there's some games where I'm happy with, but there's a lot of snaps that I'm not, and a lot of games that I'm not. And I mean, that's just the NFL, though. You're playing against really good players, and you're not going to play every game like you want to and every snap like you want to, but yeah, looking back, I don't love looking at some of the games, but it was a pretty good year.
You said right after the season was it your goal to be the highest paid defensive player? You were the defensive player of the year. I mean, has that changed? Would you like to be paid as such?
I think I'll get what I deserve.
Last one was it, when Deebo's comment was brought up that he was awful. Is that just something that drives players at that level? And you're really tough on yourself sometimes when you obviously made a lot of plays last season.
Yeah, I mean, I think whenever you're at the top of your profession, if you're not looking to get better, then you're not going to be the best for a while, for very long. So it's good to look back and appreciate and have gratitude for what you've accomplished, but there's definitely a balance between getting complacent and giving yourself some credit, which I have trouble doing for myself. So I try to give myself credit, but also I don't want to take away that competitive drive, because that's why I'm here.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.